What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol CGC for Canopy growth companies. On the left-hand side, we have the daily time frame, and on the right-hand side, the 30-minute intraday time frame. First things first, we should point out we have not covered this one together on the channel, so let's start by giving ourselves a daily roadmap, if you will, just pointing out obvious areas of support and resistance. Then we'll drill down and talk more nuance when we get to the 30-minute intraday time frame. So that's kind of going to do it here. Maybe also a midpoint of this range, the range that I just mentioned being defined as this area right here. What you'll notice is we got a little bit of resistance, support once in there, then a little bit of resistance here. So just pointing out the mid-range at 1376 as well. As of today's session, right, what does the structure of today's candle tell us? Well, certainly bearish day, right? We have a little bit of an upper wick coming into a known area of resistance here, and then also a really solid red body underneath that upper wick. So all things considered, it's not the most bullish day out there. If we look at volume down below as well, volume would say, it's elevated, and it kind of looks like people are taking a quick buck out of CGC here. What we'll note is that this stock has firmly been in a downtrend for quite some time now. And although this is starting to reverse and break over some resistance trend lines, notably this here has broken. We're back underneath it now, but that was technically broken. This has technically broken, right? It's starting to kind of change the trend, but it's not a significant bottoming pattern where we would say definitively, okay, this is a clear double bottom, like a big one like this, and we're breaking the neckline and we're going to go higher, right? It doesn't look like that at all. It's just kind of a push off of these lows from the fake break of this overall range right here. So there's really no structural bottom in place, or no pattern at least to be talking about here. And remember that the longer term trend in the stock is still firmly down. Okay, so that's first and foremost. Secondly, there's a lot of talk right now in the news, at least, about these Canadian cannabis companies. So just be aware that there could be some catalyst that comes out of left field that either pushes this thing up towards 20 or sinks this thing back down towards 10, or not back down, but towards 10, the nice round number. We don't know, and a catalyst news risk, headline risk, is always something you have to factor into your position. So don't just think about the upside, also consider the downside. So because of that, size your position accordingly, all right? Let's get into the 30-minute intraday time frame chart now and actually talk about what's going on. Obviously, in terms of just, isolating this trend here post earnings, we're in an uptrend, right? On the 30-minute chart, you can see that here's your highs getting higher and higher here, and your lows are also getting higher and higher and higher here. So I'm not going to deny, yes, we are in a very short-term uptrend here on the 30-minute time frame chart, technically candle by candle from the daily as well. What are the areas to pay attention to, though? Well, simply put, we did break down underneath a must-hold, in my estimation, area from the daily time frame chart, and we can see that on the 30, right? At first, started to look like we were flattening out here at the top of the range, 1458, but into the last 30-minute session, we certainly broke that to the downside. Now, why is that such an important area? Well, if we're truly making forward and upward progress in the stock, we basically don't want to spend any more time in this range. Now that we've broken it to the upside, what would have been ideal would have been a pullback, hold that as support, then break this, and then set a new higher high, right? That's how you like to see uptrends act. Now, it's not the end of the world. It's not like the chart's completely destroyed and we're automatically coming back down here. It's just not as bullish as it could have been. So the first thing that we should be thinking about, right, is if we do get a little bit of downward continuation from this bearish candle here, the midpoint of the range is the all eyes on level at 1376. Also the daily 50 SMA, going to be right there for us as a super support. If we get here, again, remember the chart's not completely destroyed. That would still technically be a higher low from in here. There would, let's call that your major low. This would be, of course, a higher low if we bounce out of it and then head back up higher. So 1376 needs to be on your radar. Obviously underneath that, the line in the sand has to be this area at and around 13. If we come back down into it, that's now an equal low to the major one that we've put in so far here, which again starts to threaten the validity of this 30-minute uptrend which we've built. You don't want to see equal lows, you want to see higher lows and continuing on to make higher highs. If you get equal lows, obviously the threat is a little bit of a breakdown starts to put us right back into an overall downtrend. If it happens at the low end of the overall range from the daily here, that would be an incredibly bearish thing in my estimation, noting that everyone in here who thought maybe they were out of the woods from this, completely wrong, right? Back down underneath that range here. And these people are all now overhead supply, should be some, a guaranteed seller at some point to get out for either a break even on a retest of the bottom end, or just say enough's enough. I'm kind of out of this thing underneath this 1150. So CGC, not poised perfectly, but still okay for a short-term uptrend. Really keep an eye on your 30-minute uptrend here and kind of ensure that we hold up at the 1376 or at worst, right? At worst, the 13 round number. That's really all I have for you here inside of CGC. If you enjoyed the video or learned anything new today, let me know in the comments section or by giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget our main channel is linked in the description, and all of that being said, I wish you a green trading week.